Hi, and welcome to SCW, giving you NXT TakeOver 36, the match card and predictions video for you here, right now. I'm going to be joined by Mekz from WrestleManiac UK as we discuss the card, going through match by match and giving our picks for this Sunday. And of course, we want you to get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your predictions of who you think will be walking away as winners this Sunday. But first off, before we discuss the matches, it's time to go through the match card, and this is what we can look forward to and what we'll be discussing here today. So that is the matches. I've got myself here. I need a guest with me. Without further ado, welcoming back to the channel once again. It's Mekz from WrestleManiac UK. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Glad to be back. It's always great being with you, Steve, and, you know, doing these shows over there, Q&As, predictions, and we've got a very big takeover to discuss this week. A very important takeover in the landscape of things as well, in my opinion. So, yeah, can't wait to speak about it.
Yeah, can't wait to as well. And as I say, always for people to go and check out Mekz as well. He's got a fantastic channel, also great consistent content coming out. Quite a few videos weekly as well that you're doing at the moment. You've got sort of those opinion videos. You've got your ones as well that you've got with AEW and of course with Black Wrestling Alliance as well.
Yeah, there is too much wrestling to watch, and obviously it's our job here on YouTube to talk about everything we're seeing. So yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, discuss everything and start the conversation. Like I said, this whole community to me is just great, being able to speak to other wrestling fans. Hard to come by sometimes, you know. So yeah, great little community, and just love talking wrestling, really.
Absolutely, indeed, then, man. And of course, looking forward to discussing with you as always. It's always great to have you on the show. And you said this could be a very important takeover in the grand scheme of things. Rated R for Wrestling has said this could be NXT's last dance as we know it. We'll be discussing the importance of this takeover. In fact, Mekz, I mean, obviously, we say it's a very important takeover. NXT could be different after this as we know it. Of course, there's lots of rumors of lots of changes. We've had many releases. We know that we're going to have actually some pre-recorded NXTs coming up as well. With this, does you feel that with this takeover here, we're going to wrap up a lot of storylines that we've got currently in NXT?
It feels that way. And that is really causing me some mental distress in terms of picking my predictions, because it's like, surely they're going to wrap up storylines to start new ones with this new direction that they're going in. So yeah, it doesn't really feel like anything's clear, although at the same time, yeah, it might be completely obvious that we're ending this storyline, so this guy's winning or this girl's winning. And yeah, I mean, Sunday is I think it's going to be very telling about the future direction and what's going to be happening, what NXT is going to look like after this takeover.
Yeah, I have to agree with you 100%. And there's 5 real big matches there which we've gone through. And of course, takeover is takeover. And I mean, I don't know if you felt the same as I have recently. I felt a bit of a lull, a bit of a down period with NXT. I enjoy the shows, but I think the fact they had a couple of pre-recorded weeks already that were on the Sci-Fi Network, I found myself less invested in what I was previously with that. I always find I like that live feeling that anything can happen. Even if I don't watch it when it's happening, that next day you feel something can happen. When it's pre-recorded, spoilers tend to come out. You've got a good idea of what's going to be happening next. Seems to take my enthusiasm away. I feel that with everything that's happened recently with NXT, particularly how some people have been treated when they've been moved on Raw, we'll come on to him later. I feel that this takeover is probably more important than most. This really has a potential to really reshape not just NXT, but perhaps maybe for fans that are not feeling as invested right now, to really bring them back in. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, like we we're saying, you know, in terms of the direction of NXT, and NXT even, you know, they want to kind of move back to this model of making NXT the academy of WWE, and, you know, bringing stars through there back to the main roster. You know, it can change a lot. And even I share your sentiments somewhat of just about how I've been feeling about NXT. You know, when NXT moved off of Wednesday nights and it wasn't clashing against AEW, that initial buzz was really cool. Like, you could see they were kind of getting their groove back. Then we started seeing some people get called up to the main roster. namely Karrion Kross and stuff, and seeing how he's been treated, and this almost conflict between main roster and NXT, and how, you know, people were being treated. We saw the releases, and it's almost thrown NXT up into disarray with just what is going on over there, sort of thing. So yeah, I haven't been too keen on it, and I have to say, I'm not happy with NXT TakeOver being still in the CWC. When live crowds are back, where is our arena? Where is our 10 to 15,000 fans at a big event like TakeOver? You're treating it like it's, you know, NXT of 2012, 2013. And it's not that. And personally, I hate the CWC anyway. I think they need to get rid of the fences and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think whatever this internal conflict is between WWE, NXT, Triple H, Vince McMahon, I don't know. They need to sort it out, because NXT was one of the best shows that we had in wrestling before, you know, at least AEW came along. And, you know, trying to keep it PG, it's went to poo in the last couple of years. So,
yeah. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of adapting they've had to do NXT, and obviously I've said this in previous videos and stuff like that, that I think that being meshed with Raw and SmackDown and Survivor Series, as cool as it was watching at the time, I think it's led to a big part of the downfall. The fallout of it didn't really protect a lot of what was going on with NXT. Raw and SmackDown didn't come for revenge. Superstars, when they were called up, didn't really have a successful time when they've gone to Raw or SmackDown. You've only got to look at Karrion Kross recently. That's not really worked so well for him. So, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have not been quite right with it. And I think there needs to be more of a connection as well with Vince McMahon to NXT. Now, some people may heavily disagree with that. I want Triple H and Shawn Michaels to still have control, but I want Vince McMahon to have some sort of influence of what's going on, because he changes everyone that we see get over in NXT, go to Raw and SmackDown. They're not the same people. We need to have that where there is literally just a step up and we get those same characters, because a lot of them, even ones that now, like Riddle seems to be doing quite well in recent times, I do feel that Riddle, it's taken a transitional period to get there. And of course, some of things outside of the ring may have something to do with that. But you look creatively in WWE. On SmackDown, we first have kind of got this weird thing of why he was wearing flip-flops and never wearing shoes, and how he always liked to be barefoot, understandably with all of it. But at the same time, it just, I don't know, for me, it took a while to get to where we got now with this part with Randy Orton, where we're really getting the real Riddle come out, like we got with the Broserweights with Pete Dunne back in NXT. So, I mean, yeah, I want a bit more of a connection. Would you agree?
100%, 100%. And I've been saying it everywhere I've spoke on my channel, anyone else's channel in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to say it right here, SCW, the wrestling channel. They are absolutely killing NXT, because Triple H is making stars at NXT. I don't think anyone can doubt that. The issue is that Triple H is not making stars that Vince McMahon approves of. He's not making Vince's kind of stars. So, like you're saying, if Vince McMahon has some type of influence on NXT as well, we won't get, you know, the massive star that we knew in NXT going up to the main roster, and his name changing, and his attire changing, and his music changing, and his moveset changing, because Vince McMahon would have helped or had an influence to build that guy from day one. So there will be a lot more continuity from NXT to the main roster. I think it's a massive part in everything wrong, you know, that's going on right now.
Yeah, have to agree wholeheartedly with you there, Mekz there. And we've got quite a number of comments that have come flying in. We're going to get with our predictions very, very shortly. And Scott Retro Wrestling in-house saying, what's up, lads? What's up to you? Thank you very much for checking out the stream, as well as Underground is in-house as well. Cultaholic Wrestling is with us here, saying evening all. Whoop, whoop to you as well. And I hope you're all doing well. Martin Carrillo says, what's up, guys? How has NXT become a great wrestling show to an okay show? I honestly feel like Vince has made it feel like a background a lame show. And yeah, like we say, we've been wondering what's been the feeling with NXT recently. It feels there's been a bit of a down period, but hopefully it's going to improve after this Sunday. I think perhaps even starting with this Sunday. I mean, I agree with Mekz saying there, where's our arenas? We need to get that feeling where it's like that. But really, maybe they want to take it really back to that developmental kind of territory where it is stuck in just the same place all the time. But
well, not TakeOver. TakeOver needs to be an arena. And honestly, the CWC sucks. I can't stand it. I want Full Sail back. And I'm pretty sure it's the same building. They just obviously, you know, did it up different. Just give us Full Sail back, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Full sale all the way. Yeah, and you're not on your own either. Cole Tollick here saying that it needs to get out of the Capital Wrestling Centre ASAP, and as well Retro as well saying that the CWC is. You get my point. Yeah, we do get your point very well indeed. And Marta says that the real good thing from NXT was that Finn Balor's run, even Kross's title reign, hasn't felt the way a champion should be. And yeah, I think there's a very good reason for that, which we will go to discuss, which will be match 4. Actually, a part of our prediction show today, and one other comment as well. NXT feels rushed, decisive booking show, but pressured by bookers are getting for AEW or from Vince. I imagine probably from Vince McMahon. But yeah, we have a lot of matches to talk about. So without further ado, Mekz, let's jump into that first one that we're going to be talking about here today, which is going to be the United Kingdom Championship. That's right, NXT UK. Walter going to be defending against Ilja Dragunov. We've got the rematch. Of course, arguably, many said this was a 5-star match the first time these did this in NXT UK. This has got match of the year written all over it. But I think the first question I need to ask you, Mekz, is will Ilja Dragunov's chest be as red as his trunks by the end of this match?
Might be redder. I mean, we've all seen, I'm sure, at this point, the first match that happened in NXT UK. Absolutely brilliant match. If I'm correct, that's like the only 5-star match WWE has got in ages. Absolutely phenomenal match, and I feel somewhat even sorry for the NXT UK brand that the part 2, the rematch, isn't happening, you know, on our soil. Like, this is something I think the NXT UK TakeOver brand could have really done with on a live show, big arena, you know, coming out of lockdown. And, you know, even the fact that we're not going to have Andy Shepherd, we're not going to have Nigel McGuinness screaming at the top of their lungs, watching this violence take place. I really do feel NXT UK has been robbed at this one. However, this is going to be a fantastic match, potentially match of the night. Everything that we saw the first time round, these guys are gonna double it. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm just hoping they let them carry out the same kind of level of violence on American soil, on you know, the network or whatever the case is. I think this is Ilja Dragunov's time. I think if Dragunov doesn't win here, where do we go with Walter? Walter has to move to America and take on new challenges, because even the new guys they've been bringing in NXT UK, the Rampage and, you know, Devlins went back and challenged and stuff like that. They haven't managed to do it. Dragunov has kind of had a setback. He's went through this thing where he goes into the trance and goes into like madman mode. It's got to be Dragunov at this point, surely.
I've always said that I felt that Ilja Dragunov would be the guy to eventually do it. When he get his rematch, that would be the time. And now we've got to the time I'm sitting there going, am I sure he's the guy? Is it the right moment? You know what I mean? Because Walter just feels unstoppable. Every time you see this guy in the ring, he looks so legit. We see how he, you know, destroyed Tommaso Ciampa earlier this year in another fantastic match. Like you say, that match was about 15 minutes at Stand and Deliver, which I believe was the TV show rather than the TakeOver. We've got 5 matches on this TakeOver, which means this should solidly get. But it comes under that banner, like you say, NXT UK feels a bit robbed. And this is another occasion where you'd say, go back to early in the video, where is our arena with 15,000 people? Because this match deserves it if they can deliver the quality which they delivered in front of nobody in the BT Sports studios. Exactly. This deserves it. But you said it here, Mekz. I am going to go with you. I'm going to go for Ilja Dragunov because I said it a long time ago. I think that we need to stick with it. But I hope if this match is half as good as what they did last time, we're in for a right treat, aren't we?
Literally one of the best matches I've ever seen. And obviously, you know, for those that kind of follow Meltzer ratings, with whatever you think of him and his ratings, you know, like I say, it's one of the only 5-star matches that WWE have got in a long time. And it came of, you know, NXT UK of all places. So yeah, I think Dragunov definitely, you know, looking at him and looking at Walter, you wouldn't think he has a chance, but he's tough as nails. And yeah, the story that they've told with him having that first match, losing, rebuilding himself, you know, Walter still killing guys in between, and now, you know, it's the second time round. It is surely him, because I don't know who is left in the world for Walter, if it's not Dragunov on that NXT UK brand. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, WrestleTron even goes to say down here, if not Dragunov, who is going to defeat him? And honestly, it feels like we don't have a good answer there for you. Is there a Vince McMahon style guy in the UK that's about 7 foot tall that could put Dragunov in his place? If so, I haven't seen him on the wrestling circuit. So, I mean, it's difficult to think who would be the guy. So we've gone for Ilja Dragunov. We'll go to the comments and see what all you guys have got to say. Rated Enough for Wrestling has got a great suggestion here. I think it could go to a time limit draw. I mean, it would show how epic it would be, but how would you feel if it did go down that way?
That would break my heart for Dragunov if he was like so close and time limit draw. Oh my god, nah. Good, it'll be good TV, but yeah, again, we come back to how or who beats Walter if that's the case. Maybe Dragunov will be 3rd time lucky. I don't know, but yeah,
that could be the case. That could be the case, 3rd time lucky there, because you could take it to a further takeover and Walter's reign lasts just that little bit longer. But I mean, we've seen it happen in that other company, which I suppose those 3 letters probably shouldn't be mentioned on an NXT podcast, but they've used time limit draws to great effect. I wonder if NXT could be, and it would be an interesting philosophy. So, Rated R, Anthony, I like your suggestion there. It certainly does seem a lot of fun. We'll go to more comments we've got in here. WrestleTron with us saying that he can't wait for Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Well, we're going to assess that as the main match. That'll be the last match we'll be talking about on the video today, so make sure to stick around for that. They talk the NXT keeping CWC. I'm sorry, there's no plans for full sound. Well, yeah, we're a bit sad to hear that. Yeah, thumbs down from Mekz there, and a thumbs down from me as well. We're going to double that one there. Double the thumbs down. We're not happy about it. Also, we've got like the Tweet Underground tweeted out about the WXWPS. I saw that too many feeds. He tweeted stuff out. Okay, yeah. Who follows on the bird? Okay, we'll keep that as it is. Rated Up Wrestling, maybe put some extended time after the time limit draw to declare the winner. Dragunov wins and cuts promise from hospital bed after winning. Fun suggestions here. I'm liking it. And I remember back to the old ECW days with the idea of, do you remember RVD and Jerry Lynn? I think it was like Living Dangerously at 1999. They went to a great 20-minute time limit draw, and you get the 5 more minutes shouted out from the crowd. Give it the 5 more minutes, and then of course it does that. And if you want for WWE references, I mean the first ever Iron Man match that had there, of course, as well with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart went to overtime as well. So yeah, there is certainly suggestions that could be the case, and yeah, I like the suggestions. A lot of fun there. We've got Ryan Awesome with us here. Ryan, hope you're doing well. Do you think that Walter will hold both the NXT and UK championships at the same time? That's a very interesting suggestion, because the winner of Joe and Kross was to go on and Walter was still NXT UK champion. We would love to see Walter go for the NXT championship, wouldn't we?
100%. I mean, I do think they are very much positioning Pete Dunne to be the next NXT champion, which I think is a great choice. But yeah, it's for me, it's always been, is Walter ready to live in the US? Because if this man is ready to live in the US, give him everything. Make him WWE champion tomorrow. Like, literally, he's that good. So it's that's the deciding factor, really. If he's ready to move to the US, or at least work in the US a bit more often, then we can get things like him being NXT champion and NXT UK champion. But it's really, you know, the ball's in his court.
Absolutely. Would you be a fan of this idea, Mekz? What if, like, Brock Lesnar of NXT, where he wins the NXT Championship but only comes back for takeovers to defend it?
I mean, yeah, it's a bit Lesnar-ish, isn't it? I think he does need to turn up a bit more often than that. I wouldn't like them doing, like, you know, the overly reliant on like video packages and stuff in between. You do need your champion there every now and again.
Yeah, I would agree with it, but certainly would be a different direction to what NXT's ever seen. It just wonders how much Walter would get the love if that was to go on. I imagine there'd be quite a bit of heat that would come from currently the CWC. But Walter's not losing that title, guys. I'm sorry. He'll be our generation of Bruno. That's just me. I don't know about you guys. Well, I mean, we've given our prediction there. We've gone out on a limb. We've said Ilja could do it. So we'll have to wait and see if that will come through on this Sunday. Scott Retro Wrestling, as I always say, some sequels are better than the original. And this will be one of those. Well, we can only hope so. If it is better than the original, then get your popcorn ready. Get whatever is your flavor. Get it ready for Sunday, and I tell you, you're in for an absolute treat. We cannot wait for this match. There's a reason why we talked about this match first. Alicia Stansbury, not looking forward to seeing Punk. Well, he's not be coming to NXT, will he? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he will turn up on Friday at Rampage. Maybe that's something we can touch on towards the end of the video. But we'll see Ilja, Dragunov, and Volta. But got to go with Ilja, man. The Crimson Mark he showed on Tuesday. I mean, that was amazing, wasn't it? With the way he was cut open with Roddy Strong, and of course, then to just carry on the match. I mean, Ilja does seem like quite a hard hitter, can take it as well. It adds more to what goes into this match on Sunday.
Literally, I was watching it and I was thinking, this is only one of the human beings on this world that would decide that, you know, being busted open and bleeding days before a match against Volta is a good idea. And I was just thinking, like, you are absolutely mental. Like, you don't want to, why are you even answering an open challenge days before Volta? But yeah, a really good match that him and Roddy Strong put on. Yeah, really fun. But I couldn't believe that he was bleeding. I thought this is too far.
It was quite an insane show, to say the very least. Then rated up Roman versus Volta. Oh dear me, sign me up. Do it. Absolutely. We've got Volta could steal the takeover this weekend from Underground. We certainly agree. Rated also says that one hell of a statement if Volta versus Dragunov main events. Doubt it would, but would be crazy. Yeah, I don't think it would main event. This is one reason I think it could open the show. Where would you place this on the card if you could do so, Mekz?
Yeah, it is a very, very difficult one. But yeah, I think probably opening the show might be a lot in terms of the match they're gonna give us. It's not like that typical high flying one to get the crowd hype. This one might actually scare people off the rest of the show. Opening would be a good position for it, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have that feel of an opener, if you see what I mean.
It feels big time. It feels like big time feel there. And our last comment before we go on to our next match there, Bruno, it will be the next Bruno, which of course you've already said, but also we'll face Karrion Kross and Volta as double champ into WrestleMania season. So that would be an interesting philosophy if that prediction was to come through. Yeah, we'll move on then to our next match then on both of us. But who are we going to pick when it comes to this match? Of course, I'm talking about the $1 Million Championship. It is LA Knights taking on Cameron Grimes. And of course, Ted DiBiase will be there. If Grimes loses, DiBiase must become Knights Butler. This looks like it's a storyline. It's been so much fun. This, though, I will say is a slight negative. I do think it's been slightly rushed to get to this point here, to the final stages that we've got now. And I have a feeling that we've said at the start of the video about closing chapters, closing things together. Does this feel like the place where Cameron Grimes is going to win the $1 Million Championship? As much as I want to see Ted DiBiase as the Butler for LA Knight, I just can't see that going down. Would a legend really do that for LA Knight?
That's the thing, and I think that's the thing that's quite telling. The fact that this guy, not only is he just a legend, as you said, he is a Hall of Famer. So for him to be there every week, you're doing pre-recorded stuff in the Butler outfit and all of that kind of stuff, I find it a bit hard to believe. And that's what's kind of determined to me that, and momentum is with, Cameron Grimes. We've seen the comedy aspect of the Butler stuff. I think they've done a brilliant job with this story in general on NXT. And now it's time for, he's getting fired up. He's been peed off the fact that, he's treating him out of order as the Butler. He's been peed off now that, he's treating DiBiase the way he's treating him. So now, it just feels Cameron Grimes is going to step up, take this championship off him. That's going to obviously make DiBiase happy. He's not going to be the Butler. He can now, go back to enjoying his retirement and stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see where this title and stuff goes afterwards in this, new NXT. What we're saying, it depends what angle they want to take it on. Maybe they just send Cameron Grimes with the title to the main roster. He could do something with Baron Corbin, maybe. Who knows?
That would be a lot of fun. That's a fun idea for a storyline. Cameron Grimes there, of course, that would actually be a good reason for him to become Happy Corbin. Wouldn't he, if he become the $1 Million champion? He'd have all the reasons to be going living life to the maximum once again, and showing us those very expensive steaks on Instagram, which is what Corbin usually does before this this gimmick kicked in. But yeah, I mean, this the thing is what the direction is for these guys afterwards. LA Knight, of course, is a fantastic guy on the mic. There's no argument about that. Do you think that he actually goes to progress further in NXT after this? Or do you think that he's someone that Vince could, use and see for Raw and SmackDown, that could be an instant one that could draw people in with the skill of his promos?
Yeah, for me, this guy's a main roster guy. He was ready when he came in. I think they've used him very smart. He was always kind of, in my mind, placed in NXT to just be that kind of high level. I say high level talent, but like high level enhancement kind of. He can just help push stories along with his experience. That's the word. With the experience he has to help with some of the younger talents. And I'm sure Vince will look at him. He's somewhat of a Miz kind of character, and he could literally just be a Miz on another brand. Like if Miz is on Raw right now, he can go and do what he's doing on SmackDown. And yeah, someone that when I saw when he came in, I thought, oh, okay, like I've seen his work before, like I'm whatever in it sort of thing. Yeah. But he has thoroughly impressed me in terms of just his promos alone and stuff like that, with everything he's done in NXT. So yeah, I think him and Cameron Grimes, they could go separate ways and both go onto the main roster or something, depending how this NXT new look is going to take shape.
Absolutely, because I mean, Cameron Grimes being a smaller guy, I mean, I'm guessing 205 Live will still exist. I don't want to see all the cruiserweights just shoved on that show and we never see or hear of them again. That would be a bit of a travesty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, even with 205 Live, I'm sure you saw one of the tweets that they sent out a couple of weeks ago about they're going to start having bigger guys on 205 Live. And it's like, one, they were doing that before they sent out the tweet. They were having guys that were over 205. And then two, it's like, well, that's not 205 Live then, is it? it's just a regular wrestling show. Like, it might as well be main event at this point. So yeah. I think they should maybe even just fold 205 Live, that division, into NXT. There's no harm in that. The Cruiserweight division is already the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. So, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I have to agree with you there. And we've got lots of comments that have come flying in there. So, yeah, let's go straight into it. And some of them are going on from what we said on our first topic. So we'll go on to them quickly. Starting off the show for Ilja and Volta would be a nuke if that match was to start it off. That I would have to agree with that. Cultolic as well, saying that don't forget Volta was pinned in the tag match NXT weeks ago, and it was Dragunov, so there is some momentum going in there as well. Must admit my NXT UK knowledge isn't as strong as it once was. And NXT, the UK title should start off the show. A takeover would be so hot. Ryan Awesome has come to say here that he would have wished that NXT TakeOver Vegas has a nice ring to it. Certainly do agree with that. I think that would be an awesome theme for a takeover. Imagine like the staging of what NXT could do for that would be quite fun to see. Yeah. Are you a bit disappointed it's just NXT TakeOver 36 because we get Great American Bashes as TV specials? Wouldn't that be much better as the takeover?
I am just so disappointed in everything NXT has kind of come to. I know on the night they're going to pull it out of the bag, give us some brilliant matches. But yeah, from the takeover to where the takeover is being held to, like you're saying, the overall presentation of the takeover. Yeah, it's not even, TakeOver Vegas. It's just TakeOver 36. Like
I just, at least WWE's kept count. By this point, it wouldn't surprise me if things are being botched. They botched the number, so at least NXT's kept count. So we'll give them that.
Well, once Vince gets his hand on TakeOver, he doesn't like the numbers on the WrestleMania anymore because it makes WrestleMania look old. So the numbers on TakeOver are surely going 100%. Yeah,
fair enough. There, we may be getting some themes. Maybe we'll get, I don't know, NXT TakeOver Payback or something coming to our screens very soon. So something we really can't wait to sink our teeth into. But Scott's Retro Wrestling said that he'd put this second just before the main event, but I have a feeling this should be the end of the feud for Grimes and Knight. Yeah, it probably feels like it should be the end for that feud there. And we see Alicia Stansbury. Alicia is very main roster heavy at the moment. I'll read this one out, but we definitely want to keep things NXT if we can here. But don't know why stop wrestling 4 years with the Shield. I'm just sick of John Cena, Randy Orton, and that's why we get bored of wrestling. Yes. Well, fair enough indeed. But we will keep things NXT moving forward. Underground saying that I'd have the ladder match in of card. Which is the ladder match on the show? I haven't got a ladder match listed down here
There
for
isn't one.
TakeOver.
There isn't one, but I think it's just a suggestion from Underground. But maybe the $1 million match. I mean, I know the first one was a ladder match. Maybe they could have ran that as a ladder match again. But yeah, there isn't currently a ladder match on the card.
No, I would say after they did it the first time, perhaps it would be a bit the same if they were to do it again there. But Scott Retro Wrestling, was there ever plans to have TakeOver Vegas? I'm sure I read reports somewhere, but I mean, it never materialized. So I guess it's one of those what ifs. Unfortunately, we never got to see it. But hopefully, at some point in the future, would be quite cool to see. And I know that you'll be digging this one, Mekz. Finally showing some respect to my boy LA Knight, says Racy Dale there. Gotta love it indeed.
when LA Knight burst onto the scene at NXT, I remember doing a stream with Anthony and I was saying, I'm just not into this guy. Like, and Anthony was doing the whole LA Knight thing. And now I find myself doing it. He's definitely good TV. So I'll give you that one, Anthony.
Certainly indeed there. Well, that's good to see. Scott Retro says watching us whilst doing stuff for his channel and he's managing. Well, multitasking shows that the signs of a great content creator, Scott. So keep up what we're doing, man. And very pleased that you're with us here this afternoon. And Underground saying 305 live, absolutely. But what if Odyssey Jones makes an appearance?
He has already. He has it's funny because I don't watch 205 live usually, but I was just doing some work and I just thought, let me put something on the background to watch. And I was watching 205 live and Odyssey Jones walked out. I said, you are kidding me. They have given up with this show if a big man like Odyssey Jones is coming out on 205 live. He had a match and everything. I couldn't believe it.
Absolutely. Maybe it's 405 live. Maybe, who knows? We'll have to see. We can work on the name. Time if they have a name ready, but yeah, like you say, perhaps if it's anything like numbers, he doesn't like it. It sounds old, so he'll probably change it. Cultaholic Wrestling, Adam Cole's last performance this weekend before he becomes all elite. Well, we're going to be touching on that topic later on in the video, so we'll have to wait and see. And and the last comment, Underground just said that he hasn't seen NXT for a while. He apologizes, but they need to get out the CWC rapid. Well, hopefully you'll check out TakeOver, and hopefully that you will enjoy that show. Certainly looks like it's a stacked card here, and I think we are ready then for having our third match of the card here. And this one should get us quite a bit of discussion point, I would think. It is the NXT Women's Championship. We're talking Raquel Gonzalez taking on Dakota Kai, of course, two that were best friends. Dakota Kai, of course, bringing in Raquel Gonzalez. I believe it was TakeOver Portland, if I'm not mistaken. That's where Raquel made her debut. They went on to become the Dusty Cup winners and then becoming the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Of course, that was only for an hour, but still, we'll move on from that. They have still managed to stay side by side. Dakota actually helped Raquel win that championship. Raquel has become a breakout star, and it was only going to be so long before the if you want the HBK and Diesel combination of 1994 that there would be a breakup, and now we have got that. Dakota Kai turning, as Raquel said she would be aware that at one point she would turn on Tegan. She thought she would turn on her. So that's pretty much all of it that's brought us to this point. I'm really looking forward to this match. I always feel that Dakota Kai is very much underused at times. I believe she deserves a women's championship run at some point in NXT, but I will mention one thing. She did lose to Ilja on main event just recently. Does that harm her chances going into this match? And does that point, does Raquel need to win?
So this is definitely one of the matches that, especially with, in the back of your mind of this new NXT, what that's going to look like post TakeOver, I just really have no idea who's going to win. Like you said, Dakota, sometimes it feels like she's never really got a fair roll of the dice. I think that injury she got that time, I think a couple years back when Shayna Baszler, she was in a program with Shayna Baszler, probably derailed her a bit. She's done an amazing job to kind of get back on track, turn heel, and do everything that she's doing now, especially with kind of bringing, assisting to bring Raquel through, show her the ropes. She's massively talented. She's massively experienced. I just don't know if they pull the trigger on her, winning right now. The fact that she's been on main event as well in recent times, maybe they're just, kind of lining her up for the main roster with this new approach of NXT. I'll go with Raquel Gonzalez to defend here against Dakota Kai, but yeah, like I said, with everything they want to do with NXT, whatever that is, whatever that's going to look like, this is one of the ones I'm just really, it could go either way for me.
that it could go either way, because that unpredictability adds excitement and flavor to the takeover match. Really could help build their story even further. And I really wish that this wouldn't be a one and done story. I wish that they would continue this rivalry on further, but I've got a funny feeling that this will be a one and done. And I just can't look past Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai seems to be that SummerSlam takeover Championship match. She did this last year. She's got it against Raquel this year. If she's still in NXT this time next year, it's probably her placement again to get another championship match. It just seems to be the cycle that goes around with Dakota. But both are incredible talents. Really, really want to see Dakota do well. But I think for the sakes of NXT and its brand, if your number one contender is losing a main event to Ilja, your champion needs to retain. So I'm going to go be there for Raquel Gonzalez as well. Is there anything more you'd like to add, Mekz, before we go to the comments?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the loss on main event was shocking to me, especially because like how did she just get there? Like she's in a program on NXT, and then for those that have watched NXT religiously more or less since inception, we know Ilja, is not the best or hasn't really ever found herself. I know recently she's moved to the main roster, hasn't debuted per se yet, but she's had a main event match. And how has she won the main event match against the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship? It's absolutely bonkers. Very similar to, what we're seeing with Karrion Kross, undefeated on NXT, but, 50-50 on the main roster. So, yeah, that might be telling to Dakota's future in NXT. Maybe she does move up afterwards. And like you said, for that reason, you just kind of got to back the champion and, see what happens. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Dakota wins and goes off on her own tangent on NXT. And Raquel chases. Who knows? It's very up in the air for me, this one.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how it's going to play out. Let's go to the comments. And I'll tell you what, Ryan Awesome says, I'm going with Dakota to win the title. It's her time. She's been in NXT for an eternity while everyone else was passing her by. Must win for Kai. And I do agree. It does feel like if she's ever going to have an NXT Women's Championship run, surely this would be the time.
No, I 100% agree. And that's where the confusion comes for me. It is definitely the time. She is at her hottest. It's just, Raquel Gonzalez, they're still kind of building her. Where does Raquel go from there? And like I say, the direction of NXT with that changing, are they going to change the champion or whatever? But yeah, this is proper, the heat of her run. Injuries aside now, she's fit, she's healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if she becomes champion.
I have to wait and see if it will go down. Underground also saying that Dakota Kai is your new NXT Women's Champion. But my booking idea has been ruined due to Tegan Nox being demoted to SmackDown and Tegan taking the title of Dakota, which would have been his booking, which I do remember you saying that previously. But sadly, that one is not possible now. But perhaps Kai can still win the championship. And who knows, maybe we'll see what happens down the road. You never know. There could be a lot of swaps still with the draft coming up. Rated R says, shout out to Applebee's for sponsoring TakeOver. I actually like eating there. I one day hope to eat there myself. It would be quite cool to come stateside and have a nice little bite in Applebee's. But it does also go and say, I think it's Dakota's time to win. She's had a few chances but failed. But honestly, Raquel is tough to beat, believably on NXT. So it might be better to put her on the main roster. And that's the thing. If Dakota was to win this match, would this be the right time to set Raquel up? We've heard about the idea of Dakota Kai going up. What about Raquel going to Raw SmackDown? She could perhaps thrive there.
I like that one, Dakota. It sounds cool. They might change her name to that on the main roster.
If Vince is watching.
Yeah. With Raquel Gonzalez, she could cause damage on the main roster if booked correctly. She's as tall as and can mingle with the likes of the Taminas, at least, to get started with. Charlotte Flair, if they want to go all the way with it. Nia Jax is there as well. So that could be very, very interesting. It just depends how far they think, she is in terms of her development. If she's ready for it. But at the same time, they can protect her a lot in the main roster if they book her correctly.
Absolutely, indeed. There, you'll have to wait and see how it would go down. And Scott Retro Wrestling's got his idea here. He says, who's the babyface? I feel it's Raquel, but I'm cheering for Dakota. I'm going to go for Dakota and Raquel to be called up to Raw to replace Doudrop as Eva Marie's bodyguard.
It's possible. That bodyguard role would work very well. But it's like, if they care, they would know. Obviously, we've just seen that on NXT with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. If they care, but the chances are they probably don't. So, yeah, I mean, I literally am agreeing with every comment because this is just so, you know, one way or the other for me. Like, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is as well, Doudrop, if she was to leave Eva Marie, then that would actually make a natural match between Doudrop and Raquel Gonzalez, which could be quite fun to watch. So, yeah, I mean, I'd personally be down for it for what I could see there. And Underground also saying that they could revisit Rhea Ripley as well. And definitely would be up for seeing Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez once again. But, yeah, so a lot of the comments are saying Dakota Kai. I've gone with Raquel Gonzalez, and Mekz, you're sticking with Raquel Gonzalez as well.
I don't know who to stick with after those comments, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'll stick with Raquel Gonzalez. But I agree with everyone's sentiment that it is definitely Dakota Kai's time. If it's ever going to happen, it is this weekend.
Absolutely, and I agree with that sentiment as well. Have to wait and see how it will go down. But I think then that means it's time to go on match 4. And it could be the main event, this match, but I've decided to go for this one earlier because I want to talk about the NXT Championship. I want to talk about Karrion Kross, and I want to talk about returning to the ring at TakeOver for the championship match, Samoa Joe. This could be a lot of fun to watch these two together. But the thing is, though, this has been, in my opinion, fairly well booked on NXT. But with the damage that's been done to Karrion Kross appearing on Raw, this has taken a lot of energy away from this match for me. Now, thankfully, NXT this week has put me a bit more invested in this match again because of the way that they were throwing themselves around the Capital Wrestling Center. The fact that, you know, they were going through all the fences and stuff. Hell, you said you don't want the fences there. They were tearing them down for you, Mekz. You didn't, I mean, they might not be there come Sunday.
When they were tearing them down and putting themselves through them, I was thinking, is this a sign? Like, are they going back to Full Sail? Like, I was really getting excited.
It'd be awesome if it happened, though. I'd love it to go down that way. It'd be really, really cool. But obviously, with Karrion Kross, it can't be ignored here. With obviously those appearances on Raw, losing to Jeff Hardy in 2 minutes. Yes, there was feet on the ropes and stuff, but Jeff Hardy wasn't the one with the most momentum. I know the normal Wads has come back. Kross has been dominant since, but again, I'm saying this for NXT's sakes. Is it more important for NXT as the brand that Samoa Joe wins this match?
Well, yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Samoa Joe wins this match. Karrion Kross is, you know, he's been featured on the main roster for the past 5, maybe 6 weeks now. Yeah. He's lost 2 matches, one to Jeff Hardy and one to Keith Lee. We were all happy to see Keith Lee come back and get a win, but it's at the same time, you know, he's still pinning the guy that's got the NXT Championship belt, the guy that has not been pinned on NXT since he came. He dropped the title because he got injured. He's come back. He's won the title again. He still hasn't been pinned on NXT yet. You've pinned him twice on the main roster in, you know, questionable fashion, at least one of them. So yeah, I just feel like it's a foregone conclusion that Samoa Joe wins. Samoa Joe has to take that title off him, put it back into rotation on NXT. You know, they I think we all said when they had that Karrion Kross the fatal 5-way match in your house, that was their opportunity to take the belt off him without pinning him, and they chose not to do it through whatever reason. Maybe they thought Karrion Kross was going to stick around in NXT, and now he's on the main roster. So Samoa Joe's got to do it. Samoa Joe as well, let me just say, he's really brought back the old feeling of NXT for me. Like, it just feels a lot more of what it used to feel like. Obviously, with his condition, we don't know how, you know, often we're going to see him in the ring. So his title reign, if he does pick it up, may not be a long one. Like I said, it looks pretty much certain to me they're positioning Pete Dunne as, you know, one of the next big challengers for this title, which is absolutely fine. And obviously, we've seen Samoa Joe and Pete Dunne in recent weeks just stare at each other. No words have been said. Yeah, I think Samoa Joe's got to do it for everyone. Send Karrion Kross on his way. I was really enjoying Karrion Kross in NXT, but they have really taken the shine off him on the main roster. Just looks like any other guy. But yeah, Samoa Joe for the win for me.
I think you make a lot of valid points there. And I mean, the thing is, like you say, it feels like perhaps the most obvious one here because of the fact of how Kross has been not been playing away from home, if you want. I mean, and also we've seen Scarlett missing as well, and she wasn't even a part of NXT this week, where the crowd were chanting, "Where is Scarlett?" It feels for me that she will join him eventually on Raw, and that's when we'll really get the dominant Karrion Kross, hopefully on Raw. I'm hoping that's the direction they're going to go with, even if it does seem a bit silly, because it kind of almost plays into the idea that Karrion Kross was nothing. It was, the entrance, everything is taken away. It's almost like he's the Mark Mero to the Sable almost. But, it's still, I feel that they probably will go to that form of direction. But you mentioned there was Samoa Joe as well, the idea that he may not be wrestling all the time, but certainly this feels like it would be a good thing. A bit of the first ever 3-time NXT champion, and to build with other matches there, like we say, some dream matches in there, like Pete Dunne, certainly would be quite exciting to see. I mean, who would be some of the other dream matches you'd like to see Samoa Joe have in NXT right now?
It's got to be Walter. It's got to be Walter. Like, those two, like, I hope that Samoa Joe is well enough to withstand the Walter match. That's the first thing. I wouldn't want, Walter to do any damage to him. But that is a big one that I think we would like to see. I think Kyle O'Reilly and Samoa Joe as well could put on a really fun match. And of course, we've seen Adam Cole mix it up with Samoa Joe in recent times when he was the enforcer, if you like. But of course, we don't know what Adam Cole's future looks like in NXT beyond this weekend. So yeah, I think there's a couple good matches in there. Definitely there's some guys in there that he can beat before he drops that title into, my guess, Pete Dunne.
Yeah, that could be a good suggestion there, and so it would be awesome to see Pete Dunne in that position, especially both of us being from the UK as well. That would be just awesome to see Pete Dunne representing. And the thing is, I mean, just to throw one other name out there, I'd like to say I think Ilja Dragunov, even though he's part of the NXT UK roster, I think a match with Samoa Joe would be a lot of fun to watch as well. But we've both gone for Joe. We've both said as well about how it's kind of been with Karrion Kross. It's not probably been the strongest time. It's probably good for NXT for this to happen. Let's go to the comments and see what you've all got to say. Ryan Awesome. Kross will lose the title and will continue to lose on Monday Night Raw. And I mean, that just after all that work of making Kross this unstoppable monster, it does feel a bit sad to see, doesn't it?
You know what the problem is? Adam Cole came out and he said live on TV to Kross, you're all pageantry. That's it. You're all production, smoke, this, that, and the other. And I mean, we kind of believed it, but because he's was so dominant on NXT, he's been so dominant on NXT, it was like, nah, like, you knew deep down if Karrion Kross and Adam Cole were to have a match, like, really and truly, Kross will whip his ass, sort of thing. But he's went on to, we saw those early snippets of main event. I'm sure no one watches main events. So like, yeah, we saw the snippets and we saw the entrance. And I was telling people, don't worry, it's only main event. They're not going to do the smoke and everything. It's only main event. No one watches it. That's why.
Yeah.
And then they done it on the main roster and my head was in my hands. Even the girl, they've stripped him of Scarlett. Like it was all pageantry, like Adam Cole said. And he looks bog standard, like literally. I feel sorry for him when he comes out on Raw. And yeah, I mean, they said they want to do a whole story where Scarlett kind of comes back and makes him this gladiator that he is and stuff like that. I hope that's there in his future. Because, yeah, the 50-50 booking will continue otherwise.
Absolutely. You've got to book a wrestler to their strengths. And if it is the pageantry that makes the strength, keep that mystique going. Don't expose us to what the trick is. Because once we know what the trick is, you see that credibility takes a massive nosedive. And a full year's worth of work goes so quickly. And it's really, really sad to see. Underground goes to say that Joe wins and Karrion continues to fail on Raw. Seems to be a lot of a running theme here. And Cultolic saying Kross wins due to the house brick impact style. We've got Rated Up for Wrestling. Was very important for NXT to do damage control with Kross after the debacle on the main roster. Really good save by NXT to keep us somewhat still excited for this match, even if the outcome is obvious. So there you go. That's what Rated R's got to say there. And it does feel like it's a firm here. Say it ain't so cold. He goes, they're Rated R there. But Underground saying Keith Lee should be built up, not facing guys at Kross way too early for them to share the ring. Would you agree with that on Raw? I mean, I was a bit surprised with that. I mean, Keith Lee's not really had the best run since coming back either, it feels right now in WWE. But did you feel that they should have saved that for a big match later down the line when they were built up correctly?
Definitely. Like at that point where those two faced each other, Keith Lee had just lost to Bobby Lashley the week before. I believe Kross had just lost to Jeff Hardy the week before. Or maybe he had just beaten Keith Lee and they were done the rematch. Either way, it's just like, yeah, keep these guys apart. And this is where, you know, there's a lack of continuity. For anyone that remembers, Kross was the person that beat Keith Lee for the NXT Championship. Where was that story being told? It wasn't. It was just a factor of, oh, let's just put these two guys together. The crowd may know them, sort of thing. And then obviously, you know, Keith Lee got the win and we were all happy to see it. He's had a hard time of late. But then you've just pinned Kross, even though the week before he pinned Keith Lee and the week before that he got pinned by Jeff Hardy. Just a complete mess, really. Should have kept them away from each other and built towards something like Underground is saying.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. There, no, have to agree with that 100% there. And they'll end up pairing Kross with Alexa Bliss, and Scarlett goes to SmackDown. Please, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just no. Underground.
We'll probably see Alexa Bliss. Oh, she's a supernatural character. We can put her with Kross. That'll add this mystique back.
Yeah, that will certainly add something back. It won't be positive, I can say, unfortunately. Now, I'm a big Alexa Bliss fan as well, but just not with the current direction of where they're going with that. Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong does sound like that'd be an awesome encounter as well. I'd quite like to see that, quite hard hitting. And Cultonic Wrestling. Adam Cole said it best. You know, I'm the top guy of NXT. They ring the freaking bell, and yeah, I think that's perfectly taken us there with that comment to going to match 5, which of course is Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. 2 out of 3 falls match. I want to say 3 stages of hell because we've got full 1 as the traditional match, full 2 of the street fight, and full 3, if necessary, it will be the steel cage match. What is really awesome here with these two, I mean, being given this on a takeover means we're going to be in for an epic showdown. This is the undisputed finale between these two, of course, with the UE breakup, the unsanctioned match we had at Stand and Deliver, the regular singles match at the Great American Bash. Yes, okay, Kyle O'Reilly did have the choice of choosing a stipulation. He's gone with the traditional match, which did seem a bit lame at the time, but that's what Cool Kyle does seem to do, sadly. He doesn't always seem to be that cool after all, but it did kind of make sense that the singles match is his style, that he should be winning, he feels, so he goes back for it. Adam Cole goes for the street fight, and of course we'll have the steel cage. Will it be a normal steel cage match like we've had previously, or will it be like Gargano and Cole, where it had all the weapons all meshed into the cage? What are your feelings going into this match with these two? Do you think this will be the epic finale that we kind of hope with these two, and will it main event?
I think it's kind of got a main event at this point because, like we said, Samoa Joe Karrion Kross is somewhat predictable as to the result. And this is, a big match in terms of the blow off, the undisputed finale, like you said. I completely laughed my head off on NXT whenever it was a couple of weeks ago when Kyle O'Reilly said that he wants a singles match and the crowd booed him. The crowd booed, and then obviously Adam Cole said we need a street fight, and everyone went yay. So yeah, I think, like you said, it makes sense. He lost in the singles match. He's a wrestling guy, a wrestling purist, if you like. Maybe he wants to prove himself, get that win back. Maybe a submission match would have been a bit more fitting, who knows. But yeah, the street fight, brilliant. William Regal saying that, if we get to the third fall, which of course we will, we're gonna get a cage match. I mean, I don't see Adam Cole winning. Whether Adam Cole was staying in the company or not, I never saw Adam Cole winning whatever the blow off for this feud would have been. I think this whole thing is designed to make Kyle O'Reilly a top guy. I think the first time they tried to go there with Finn Balor and stuff, he put on fantastic matches, but when they started with the Cool Kyle thing, I think he lost a lot of heat behind him. So I think this whole thing, going back to the well of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and all the history they had across all the companies they've been in, I think this is what's been designed to kind of make him the top guy. So he was going to win for me regardless of the future of Adam Cole or not. So yeah, I'll pick Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, do you want to talk about Adam Cole's future in a bit, or?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we will actually go on to the future of Adam Cole because I'll just show it now it's definitely one of my closing topics of the video. So don't worry about that. We will be coming to that. But we've, like you said there, with everything, we don't know what the future is for Adam Cole. But with Kyle O'Reilly, it's about building that new star. The Undisputed breakup here, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do the free falls. And like you say, it was kind of fun the way that the crowd almost treated Adam Cole like the babyface with the way it's gone down. But I think when it comes to match time, comes to go time, these two will get probably a good 45 minutes with these free falls. I expect it to be epic. If I had to predict, I do think, despite the fact that Kyle O'Reilly wants to get that singles fall, he's not going to. I think Adam Cole will get the first fall. I think that Kyle O'Reilly will get the second fall. And I think then Kyle O'Reilly will get the third fall, and that will make the victory there. And at that point, that releases Adam Cole to do what he's got to do next, which we'll talk about in a couple of seconds. But of course, for Kyle O'Reilly, like you say, maybe it doesn't put him straight over completely with the Capital Wrestling Center, but it certainly puts him in the right direction, because victories will get you more over. And whatever they decide to do next there, this would be arguably the biggest win of Kyle O'Reilly's career, surely.
Yeah, definitely on one of the biggest stages. It's I like how you predicted the falls there, because it always seems to be the way that whatever fall you pick, that's the one you're gonna lose in, and and the other person will beat you at it. But yeah, I think, in terms of Kyle O'Reilly's progression, they could have made him North American champion yesterday. Like, he's more than ready to like conquer and reign in that mid card. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a point in the right direction, him winning this match, but I'm not convinced with the Cool Kyle stuff. I feel like there needs to be more there. And again, they haven't helped with, this new music he has since he split from Undisputed Era and all of that kind of stuff. It hasn't quite worked. It's quite generic in my opinion. So yeah, we need some more stuff. Top guy means more than just being able to wrestle. You see what I mean? Like, certain command of that mic, certain command of the fans. And I think although he is beloved, there is just some type of edge or something missing, it factor, to really make him top guy in NXT.
Absolutely. I mean, would you think that for Kyle O'Reilly right now, he would actually be more fitting of going, I'm not saying he should win the championship at this point, but certainly going for the North American Championship rather than going for the NXT Championship at this stage of the game?
Yeah. I like I said, I think he could be North American champion tomorrow. Like yesterday, it could have happened already. Like that's for me. He's more than qualified for that position, sort of thing. But yeah, like I just feel like top guy status. I just don't see it. And I know NXT is a slightly different product to what we know. I know he's been the Ring of Honor world champion and stuff, but again, that's almost like a different level. Yeah, NXT is somewhat up there in terms of championships. And yeah, there is, either if it's mystique or if it's it factor, there is just something missing from Kyle O'Reilly, in my opinion, to really convince me that, yeah, this guy is a believable NXT champion.
I have to agree with you 100% at this stage. I don't know what that thing is missing. Like you say, it could be the music, could be just a tweak to the character. Maybe we need to see a cool, edgy Kyle, maybe rather just add that in the middle, and then we get a bit of a twist of him. But it's not just the pure wrestling that's going to do it. And we'll have to wait and see what it's going to lead to going down the line. But we'll jump into the comments. And Ryan Awesome says that would have seen Samoa Joe versus Bronson Reed, as would we, I'm pretty sure. But unfortunately, that's definitely not going to happen anytime in the near future. But we'll see as well. Underground's got a couple of comments here. Adam Cole went up going to SmackDown, having a storyline with Michael Cole, and they'll go down the line of Adam Cole, Michael Cole's illegitimate son. I mean, I've seen worse ideas.
Oh man, I'll leave my thoughts on this till we're talking about it. But yeah, let's please not take the crowd for idiots and do anything like that.
Underground, I was going to say about Kyle O'Reilly Cruiserweight Championship if you want to visit Roderick Strong. I mean, that would be great for a feud. But what is the weight limit for the Cruiserweight? It's 205. So is Kyle O'Reilly over or under that? I'm not quite sure where he falls in the bracket, but they treat him like a heavyweight, don't they?
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's been going after NXT Championship for a while. You kind of get the perception that he's above 205 at least. But to be honest, Finn Balor was 190 something, or like 196, I think. I'm sure Kyle O'Reilly is probably about, if not under 205, in and around that as well. So yeah, he's roughly about the same size as Roderick Strong. So yeah, but 205 Live has bigger guys on it now anyway. So what is the cruiserweight division?
There you go. Yeah. Ryan Awesome says that, we've got Jones's one just coming at the last thing there. Says he believes it's 200, he believes. So that's certainly a potential there of that they could make it happen if they wanted to. But like you say, if it turns to Odyssey Jones of 05 Live, then certainly the weight limit could be anything, couldn't it? So
exactly.
Jonesy, though, is in with us as well. This is great. Good afternoon, lads. The last takeover before they start taking shows again. Of course, USA not happy about that, are they? They said that's not what we paid for. So I have to wait and see what will go down with that. But also, we could say that Kyle O'Reilly will beat Cole, becomes all elite, but isn't he dead now? I'm not sure of that reference there, unfortunately. But Mekz, you seem to have a better idea with this.
Yeah, on Being the Elite, obviously the YouTube show for AEW or whatever, or New Japan when those guys were in New Japan before the Bullet Club. Adam Cole was killed off on Being the Elite before he joined NXT. So obviously, yes, for continuity's sake, if he was to go to AEW and interact with the Bucks and those guys again, somehow he's going to have to be brought back to life in the story that they were telling. So yeah, that's what that's about.
That could be a lot of fun. It could be almost like an Undertaker character in AEW. Who knows? Probably not. Underground says that Roderick Kyle O'Reilly, sorry, he is under 205 on 2K. So there you go. But they've probably got their stats there correct on that. So that's probably likely it could be happen. Kyle O'Reilly has to win. He has just been a jobbing machine. Can never do the job against the upper card. Well, there you go. This would be that big win for him if he was to get that. So fingers crossed it will be. We've gone for a Kyle O'Reilly victory. And I suppose that leads to that question then that I said we were going to come to. What next for Adam Cole if he loses at NXT TakeOver 36? Does he remain in NXT? Does he get moved to Raw and SmackDown? Has he really been offered $1 million a year? Or is he All Elite Wrestling? Rumors are flying different daily of what to believe. So I'm in the camp of I will wait and see. But Mekz, I definitely want your opinion. Where is he going? Sway me. Where will I see Adam Cole on my TV screen after TakeOver 36?
I mean, it's a very, very difficult situation to even predict. Like I said, I was always pretty sure Adam Cole was losing this match regardless. So yeah, it doesn't really sway me. But you know, AEW is the place. It's the choice of destination. All his mates are there. His missus, his girlfriend is there. And remember, we're no longer in a place where Jacksonville, they're recording Justin Daly's place in Jacksonville when they're just NXT's just recording in Florida. AEW are on the move now. So I don't know what that is like, you know, between him and his girlfriend. But of course, life would be easier if they worked for the same company, had the same schedule, traveling together. So that's one thing to really take into consideration. We've heard about this high-level meeting he was brought to SmackDown to have and all of that kind of stuff, and that they want him on the main roster. But we've seen the fate of, you know, people on the main roster, even big stars that had big runs in NXT. Adam Cole's not the biggest guy. We know on the main roster they love, you know, the standard 6 foot or 6'2", 3+ guys, 200 and whatever pounds. That's not Adam Cole. But Adam Cole, you know, dead to rights, is a WrestleMania main eventer. So, you know, do you kind of drop your standards if that's your standard and then go on this guy, go up, you know, put your neck out on the line, so to speak, and change things up? Who knows? Again, Adam Cole, they can. My big thing for Adam Cole is I would love to see him on the main roster, but if possible, please don't sign a contract any longer than like 2 years. I know with signing a longer, he'll get big money, and WWE have got ample money. We know that. But sign a contract for like 2 years, give it a go, see how they treat you, see what your booking's like, so that if it 2 years it doesn't work, that's ample time. You can still leave. You know, it's not like you've lost 5-6 years in your career because of your contract. 2 years, give it a go, see what happens. If not, All Elite. But like, you know, a lot of people are predicting, he could finish in the main event of TakeOver on Sunday and literally turn up to Dynamite on Wednesday. There is no clause in his contract. He, you know, it can happen just like that. So I really have no prediction. He may just turn up on the main roster, have a hot start, you know, fall down into the mid card and be a millionaire, you know, earn that $1 million or whatever the case is. Just from the mid cards, we've seen Braun Strowman do it before he lost his job. So yeah, we just really have to wait and see what next week has in store, because I can't predict it myself.
No, and the thing is like the more you talk about it, the more confused I get of where I think it will be. Because, like you say, he could just turn up on Dynamite. He could be competing All Out in September. That's how quick he could be transitioning onto a next pay-per-view, and it would be their major pay-per-view as well if he was to go to AEW. But if he was to go to Raw, SmackDown, like you say, a part of me would like to see how it would play out. I just hope. I mean, I don't think he would end up in the 24/7 stuff. I think he would be respectable enough to not get there. But at the same time, I could see him as like the Intercontinental Champion and doing very well with that sort of level. And you know, although he has the potential to be someone that will be in WrestleMania main events, I just feel his size will go against him, and I think that's where it will be the letdown. And I wish it would be played into a storyline if he's staying in WWE. You know, we know he's run out of his contract. Where is he going next? You know, you could play that into something. And I know they did it with Punk 10 years ago. Adam Cole's that good on the mic. You know, it could be a case he loses at TakeOver and says, screw this company. I'm done with this. I'm done with NXT. You know, and just have that idea of wanting to start again and seeing, you know, people putting in bids for him to see if they can get hold of him in that sort of storyline sense. But of course, I'm sure if they were to try and do that, Dave Meltzer would get hold of it and would know of it by Monday anyway. But, you know, it's just it's one of the things that I think could be fun if they could actually get us invested in guessing ourselves where he could end up next.
I mean, there's been one other big kind of telltale sign this past week. You know, he came out on his Twitch and said that, you know, he's not losing his Twitch. He will always be on Twitch. He will always be here for his followers and his fans, and he loves Twitch and loves all of that. And obviously we know how WWE feel about, you know, these third-party platforms and not being able to be on the main roster and have third-party platforms and like Twitch and stuff like that. In NXT, it's perfectly allowed, but on the main roster, it's not. And for him to come out and say that I'm not losing my Twitch to his fans, it could be a big telltale sign that he's moving on to AEW, or maybe re-signing with NXT. That could be another option. Although, to be honest, that probably would be the most underwhelming option at this point. Or maybe somehow, because he is Adam Cole, baby, he has brokered some type of deal to be able to go to main roster with his Twitch. Who knows?
Yeah.
Literally, like I say, I think we just have to wait and see what next week holds.
Absolutely, indeed. Then it certainly will be exciting to see what it will hold next week. But the comments have been going crazy, as you can imagine, Mekz, with everyone giving their opinions. Jonesy's been straight on it, saying Raw on Monday night is next for Cole, in his opinion. Ed Fries as well, new to the stream. Thank you, Ed, for checking out the stream. Cole likely stays put. I don't see him leaving. We've got Cole Toilet Wrestling saying Adam Cole equals AEW debut as the American badass. Not quite. It's a take a gimmick. It's just not that one. And Ryan Awesome, if Cole stays, that'll shock to the system. Love play on words there. Absolutely superb. And the last one we've got written down here, Adam Cole may pull the Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and jump to AEW, just like a particular, maybe a CM Punk or a Bryan Danielson. Who knows? Maybe that could be a faction going forward. Who knows? That'll be quite fun to see, and certainly would be a big blow to WWE, but it certainly would boost the AEW ratings. But as I say, that's pretty much it for TakeOver. But Jones is coming for one more comment. Cole would get lost in the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan melee, in all honesty. So that's Jones's pick there. He thinks he should stick out the WWE. You don't think so?
I don't agree with Jonesy on that one. I love you, Jonesy, but I mean, let's be completely honest. Adam Cole is right now, in terms of, you know, being exposed to him, we see him more or less every week. So I don't think at all he would get lost. Adam Cole can't allow himself to get lost. This is Adam Cole we're talking about, you know. I think there's a lot going on in AEW, that's for sure. But yeah, I think he would literally go into AEW and fit in like a glove, like it was made to happen. Yeah, I think he'd be absolutely fine if he was to jump ship.
I think it'd be fun if he jumped ship as well, to be honest. I mean, the thing is, you can imagine, it's something I would love to see, actually, Adam Cole versus CM Punk on the mic. I think those two together on a mic battle would be phenomenal to see.
Yeah, there's big talents, even CM Punk and other people, but yeah, I think with Punk returning, and Brian, eventually maybe debuting, we might see that in a couple of months or so. These are all just kind of heat of the moment kind of things, and you've got to remember, Punk and Brian are very much wrestling guys. They're not coming there to necessarily steal the spotlight. They may win the championship here or there, but they are coming in to help build this company and help build these young stars. Adam Cole is still a young star. Adam Cole is, one of the most promising young stars. So there is no way, like, his friends are the execs of the company. How does Adam Cole get forgotten in AEW? I see your point 100%. I just don't agree with it. He's too big of a star.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can see that as well, because I think what Jones is saying there, the CM Punk is the biggest thing in years. Adam Cole wouldn't compare. So I suppose that initial buzz, I think, is where Jones is going with it. But where you're going to it from that outside is where maybe it wouldn't have that initial, oh my God, kind of feeling like, well, because CM Punk's been away so long. But the fact is that once Adam Cole gets there, he's going to be perfectly fine. It's not as if we're talking like, okay, we've just signed Fuego del Sol to a contract where he's going to be lost on dark elevation. We're talking Adam Cole. And this would be a big take from WWE. CM Punk is a big get for AEW, but WWE wasn't going for him. WWE wants Adam Cole. So for AEW to get Adam Cole, they would make that seem like a big deal as well.
That's exactly it. Like you're saying, the buzz for him, yes, it's a big return to wrestling. Yes, the buzz makes sense, and the buzz will last for maybe, who knows, 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. Just like Sting. Sting was very hot. Every time he came out after he had debuted, he was very hot. But now it's like, it's Sting sort of thing. We're used to it. But yeah, like I say, Punk isn't an idiot. Punk's not a punk. He's gonna be putting these younger guys over. Like, he knows that is kind of his role, to give these guys the rub. And Adam Cole is one of the biggest stars in wrestling. Like, although we've seen so much greatness out of him in NXT, there is so much more distance for Adam Cole to cover. The likes of the Punks and Bryans are literally going to play second fiddle to him, by the time he settles in and he's chasing championships and stuff.
That's fair enough indeed. Then just to finish this bit off, then I mean, Jones is saying that obviously it waters down Cole's debut if they were to debut at the same time. That was his point of it. So totally see that, Jonesy. And he says that Adam Cole would be a sensible addition to the roster, no doubt about it. So I mean, there we are. We all do agree on that point of it. And Ryan Mawson does go on to say that Cole versus MJF on the mic. I mean, that would be quite fun to watch as well. We've got a shout out as well of Cole versus Marty Scurll in AEW. Anyone revived the Adam Cole baby? I'm not sure if Scurll will ever go to AEW at this point after the last sort of year or so. But it is a shame, because I was a big fan before of Marty Scurll's in-ring and his persona and the villain character. But it is what it is, sadly. But Underground, Cole should honestly go to AEW, but there's only 4 championships. Would a trios or another major title to AEW's roster gets bigger and bigger with Bryan, Punk, Murphy, and now Cole? I mean, that's I suppose the question you could ask there with that there just before we close off the stream is the idea of with Adam Cole, if he was to fit in, where would you place him straight away? Would it be something you go for the TNT Championship, or would you go straight towards the top, towards that AEW Championship, or should Adam Cole go for a different championship that doesn't currently exist?
I think he can, fit in quite well in just having like high profile feuds. You've seen the likes of Malachi Black going after Cody, Andrade's there. There are high profile people he could just have great feuds with, great promo battles with, before we even get to a championship. If we ever get a trios championship, that has been rumored, him and the Bucks in a team is something you'd love to see. They've obviously got tons of history. But even with AEW in general and the title situation, I just feel like this whole Forbidden Door thing it's an excellent idea, because it allows the company to recognize someone as a champion, even if it's not their champion, so to speak. So we've seen like Moxley as, IWGP United States champion, Lance Archer as well. We now see Christian holding the Impact titles, but these guys at the same time turn up regularly on Dynamite, on Rampage. So they can almost not even have to use their titles per se, can use other companies' titles and use the Forbidden Door to make Adam Cole turn up on AEW as the Ring of Honor World Champion, if you see what I mean. He doesn't even need an AEW title per se. So, yeah, I think that's been a great usage of the Forbidden Door, and we may see something like that. But Adam Cole's Adam Cole. Like I said, high-profile feuds with high-profile stars is enough to keep him going. He doesn't need like a championship straight out the gate.
Absolutely. And like you say, there's so many great matches he could have over there. So it would just be exciting to see those high-profile matches play out. And I love the suggestions you got there with Forbidden Door as well there. I think that's fantastic. Like you say, Christian Cage now the Impact champion. We've seen Kenny Omega in that role. What's to say it's not with a different championship? Maybe, with AAA, like they've got that relationship. There's New Japan, like you say, Ring of Honor, the NWA, the sky's the limit of what they could do with the Forbidden Door stuff here. And we've got a couple more comments that have come through just before we close things up. Jones is saying, it's such a shame Punk, Bryan and Cole all available at the same time, as all would be unique moments. I'm sure they still will be. I mean, AEW found a way of making things still very exciting, very fresh, even if we have seen them coming. I even would go out and say at one point it felt that people knew Sting was coming in, but they certainly made that feel like a major big deal. And like you said, we got that big buzz and excitement still. We still felt like little kids again when seeing him make the AEW debut. Zach is with us. Zach, thank you for checking out the stream. He says, hoping that Cole doesn't go to AEW, honestly. Too many good dream matches waiting for him on the main roster, and I could see him winning the WWE Championship, honestly. But there you go. I mean, there's certainly as many plays to say for him to go to Raw and SmackDown as there is for AEW. And hopefully, as long as Adam Cole has, which I imagine he will have a bright future, whatever he chooses, we just want to see Adam Cole on our TV screen. We're fans in the day of the guy and want him to have the best potential future as possible. But Zach, thank you for your comment and appreciate you getting involved. And Underground saying, not everyone needs championship feuds within the divisions. They're going through FTR versus Proud and Powerful, etc., which would have to agree with that as well. But that's pretty much it from us anyway. Thank you everyone for your comments. Just to say, Mekz, you'll be doing a live stream yourself very shortly, won't you, on your channel? So tell everyone where to go out and find you.
Yeah, if you just type in WrestleManiac.uk or WrestleManiac UK into your YouTube search, and obviously you subscribe to the channel. We're doing an AEW review of Dynamite from last night on the channel in about half an hour. So yeah, you can come through and we can discuss Dynamite.
Absolutely, and look forward to everyone joining over and heading over there. Like you say, also you can hit the link in the description as well. We've got Mex's channel there. You can go straight to there, hit that subscribe button. One more comment from Jonesy has come through. This takeover looks like such a great card, and we should actually focus on NXT just to finish it off. End of an era. Do we see some crossover with Volta Cross in some form? I would love to see them have a match or some sort of altercation at some point. I just don't see it going down, but it certainly would have dream match written all over it, wouldn't it, Mekz?
Yeah, it's that same kind of circle of people, isn't it? Cross, Joe, Volta, maybe one day Brock Lesnar, who knows? But yeah, those are the names that, the real kind of tough guys sort of thing, strong style stuff that we love to see that, could make up some great dream matches. But yeah, like Jonesy says, this is definitely an end of an era. Let's just see what we get next week.
Absolutely, and we did go to discuss where we think the future could go next week. I mean, potentially, especially with the changes that are rumored and that. And we just hope that this takeover really solidifies what NXT is all about, what we've known it to be all about, and being a show stealer and getting everyone hyped once again. We want to really see that going forward. But that's pretty much from us anyway. And like I say, go and check out Mex's channel, WrestleManiac UK. Go and join him for the AEW Dynamite. Just before we do leave, I'll tell you what you can come and see on my channel. If you haven't seen the stuff yet, then go and check these videos out. Starting off with SummerSlam predictions. They're available on the channel now. Was joined with Silky, that's right, NX Steve from Jonesy Chats Wrestling. Come and join me on that. That's available on the channel now. As well as that, SCW Rewind is back as well. The SummerSlam 2013 retro review. I was joined by Chris from It's My House podcast. That's available. That was recorded last night. And of course, the good old-fashioned Q&As. They're what stabilized this channel to begin with. Episode 94 is available for you right now to go and check out my answers to your questions in the wrestling community. And make sure to go and like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment on this video afterwards. It helps the algorithms, the boring stuff of YouTube, but it does help this channel out massively. So I do appreciate if you leave a comment after this video finishes. But that's all from us. Mekz, thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's been great to have you on as always.
No problem, man. It's been great to be here. Great to talk about TakeOver, a brand that we all love so much and going through so much change right now. But one thing's guaranteed, we're going to get a fantastic show on Sunday night. So yeah, looking forward to that. But thanks again.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for it as well. I feel that this could be arguably best has ever looked at that card. It looks a very solid card. And Mekz, thank you very much once again. Take care, everyone. Thank you all for watching as well and putting your comments in. Really do appreciate everyone that supports the channel. Have yourselves a great day. Go and check out some of the other videos that's just been promoted now. And we'll see you next time here on SCW. All the best. Have yourselves a great day. And yeah, this has been NXT TakeOver predictions video. All the best.